Good evening, happy Tuesday, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 15. And tonight I want to sit down and have a little chat and talk about some ideas I have for 2022, but mostly I want to hear from you. And I'm interested to know if this would be something that perhaps you would be interested in joining next year. Basically, I'm thinking about starting up a monthly membership of sorts that would be focused on plant-based health. And not just weight loss, but like I talk about here on my YouTube channel, and how understanding the mathematics of weight loss doesn't make weight loss any easier. And even being vegan or whole food, plant-based, no oil, like there are still struggles. And I know for me personally, I didn't feel like I was in control of my health at all until I started to feel like I was in control of my mental health. And I don't claim to be perfect or have it all figured out. I am still going through this process of becoming a healthy human being, but I've come so far and I feel like I have so much to share. Honestly, this makes me so nervous to talk about, and like, it's scary to share that this is what I want to do, because there is a part of me that still feels so not good enough. And it's not that I don't feel good enough, because like I don't think I'm skinny enough or I haven't lost enough weight to be able to talk about a healthy plant-based lifestyle, but it's that other piece that I'm referring to. It's that mental health piece that I've spent a lot of years feeling like I'm not good enough, and it's hard to let that go. And I know me personally, I attached a lot of that not good enough feeling to my weight. And there was so many years, so many instances I can think of where I felt like I wasn't good enough for something because of my weight. You know, becoming a yoga teacher is a good example of that. Like, I thought I had to be this perfect skinny twig person to be a yoga teacher, and that's not even what yoga is about. Like, even if you can't do a single one of the poses, you can still do yoga. Yoga is a spiritual practice, and it's much more about meditation than fitness yoga like it is in the USA. Sorry for the rant. If you can't tell, I am just as passionate about yoga as I am about plant-based health. I actually think they go quite well together, in my opinion. Actually, let me give a quick backstory of how I kind of got to this point of having this idea for 2022. And it all started back in 2018 when I took an online course about creating an online business. And at the time, I owned a yoga studio. And so when I got to this part of the course about, you know, your deepest passion and what can you, you know, make a business of and be excited to work in every day kind of thing, I mean, my immediate reaction was veganism. My immediate reaction was like saving the animals and saving the planet and healing the human population from all of these horrible diseases that we have from what we eat. So that was my immediate gut reaction of what I wanted to do for my online business. But at the time, I also worked for my family business, which was a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise. Even if I hadn't been directly employed by my family business at the time, I still couldn't go in direct opposition to my family business and speak out against that diet and lifestyle and speak up for veganism. I felt like I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. I didn't feel like that was a path I could go down. So I went for my second choice of online business, which is, like I said, still one of my biggest passions, of teaching yoga. And I created an online studio with a library of classes. I'll post a link to the website if you want to check it out. And my whole thing is that I teach yoga for regular people. I don't teach the crazy pretzel poses. We're never trying to put our foot behind our head. It does not even matter if you can touch your toes. So at that same time in 2018, I also created my YouTube channel, and I was posting yoga and meditation classes here once a week. So that's what I did for the next year, was my online yoga studio, my in real life yoga studio, and then working full-time for the family business as well. Then in the spring of 2019, my family decided to sell the business. And a part of me was really heartbroken because my grandpa had started that business in 1965, but the other part of me was just like, finally free. Like, oh my gosh, I can finally speak my truth and say what I want about food and not have anybody say that I'm attacking my family business or being a hypocrite. My biggest regret, my biggest mistake, and also one of the biggest lessons in my life that I'll never repeat ever again because of this lesson, was closing my yoga studio at that same time in spring of 2019 because I was told to. Not because I didn't believe in myself or believe in my business. And so letting someone else tell me what to do with that monumental of a decision to close my business, I don't want to get sad about it. I can't dwell on it and regret it. I mean, I'll regret it the rest of my life probably, but I can't dwell on it. Instead, I take that as the most important lesson I have learned in my life. Not to let that outside opinion dictate what you do. Because that outside opinion that told me to close my yoga studio, that opinion doesn't matter. My opinion about my life is what matters. And so I try to look at it as that lesson learned, and that I wouldn't be here now making this exact YouTube video if all those other things hadn't happened. The closing of the yoga studio led to a depression that led to a big weight gain that ended up leading me to this whole food, plant-based, no oil journey, finding Dr. McDougall and adopting this new way of living and eating and just being that's so easy. Not easy all the time, like life will never be perfect, but so much easier than all the crap I'd been doing for the last 30 years. So I realize I've spent a lot of my life waiting to lose weight, waiting to be smart enough or old enough or to feel like I was good enough. And I've decided that I just gotta stop waiting and start living my life the way I want to. Stop being scared that I'm not ready for things. I've known since 2018 that I would love to have a plant-based, healthy lifestyle type of online course or monthly membership or something. And here we are heading into 2022 and I'm still sitting here going, am I good enough? Do I know enough? Could I really lead a talk once or twice a month? Obviously, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not trying to create any sort of group where I am counseling people, but I think these are topics that really affect our health and weight loss if you're trying to lose weight. Things like perfectionism, feeling like you're not good enough, self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem. These are all things that I have struggled with and been working on in myself, and I just feel so much like this is my passion and this is what I'm here to help other people with. To find physical and mental health through a plant-based diet and lifestyle and working on these inner things that a lot of us just ignore. A lot of us ignore so many of our emotions and so many mental health things that we should probably deal with to lead healthier lives. And we just hold so much of that inside. I think a lot of it is a learned sort of behavior that maybe our parents or grandparents or whatever, that was something they learned. But life is so much different than it was 100 or even 50 years ago. Like, the world is so different, and the way we relate to each other as humans is so different. Like, the fact that I'm just figuring out, like, right now or over the last couple years, like, what I want to be when I grow up, because what I want to be when I grow up, it didn't exist 20 or 30 years ago. There wasn't such a thing as YouTube or having an online business or just connecting through the internet like this. I mean, even now, trying to like define exactly like my career goal or what I'm trying to become, it's like I want to educate people on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. I want to do that through YouTube videos or online courses, monthly membership coaching calls. Like, I want to write books, which I hope no one was holding their breath for my book that was going to be done by the end of 2021. Like, was that even a realistic goal? I don't know. So here's my basic idea for 2022. I already have an online course called Eat Well with Ebel, and it's essentially the very basic beginner's guide on how to switch to a whole food plant-based diet. I just released that course in January 2021, so what I'm working on creating is a second course that would be complementary to that one. So the Eat Well course focuses on how to switch from the SAD diet to the whole food plant-based diet. This other course, I'm calling it right now, I'm Done Dieting, based on my video series here on YouTube. But the concept of the I'm Done Dieting course is about letting go of perfectionism and not counting calories and working on some of those mental health things that, for someone like me who was obsessed with diet culture literally for 30 years, and I mean, there's still a part of me that's obsessed with it, you know what I mean? Basically tackling a lot of the things that have come up for me in the last year in terms of, you know, all that self stuff, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth, perfectionism, and just those different things that that I really think we need to deal with from a mental health perspective before you're ever gonna be happy, no matter what your body looks like. I'm still on my weight loss journey, and I'm still dealing with a lot of these struggles, and I want to approach this from a place of support and community. You know, I don't think that it's still hard for me to not talk down on myself. Like, I was just gonna go off on a tangent of, I don't think I'm perfect, I don't think I know it all, which I already said in this video. Like, I guess what I'm really trying to say is I don't think I know all the answers for everybody, but I know what's worked for me, and I believe I'm approaching my health from a healthy place. You know what I mean? It's not like so many years where I just wanted to be skinny. I didn't care if I was healthy on my way to get skinny as long as I got skinny. And now it's the total opposite of like, I want to be healthy, and I'm going to refuse to spend my life obsessing about counting calories or macros or getting on the scale 3 times a day. Like, that's not a healthy way to live. So I'm still thinking out the details of this, but my thought was that it would be like a monthly membership fee, so you could cancel anytime. And while you were a monthly member, you would have access to those 2 courses, the Eat Well with Ebel and the I'm Done Dieting, or whatever I end up calling it. I might come up with something more clever. And then I would do monthly or bi-monthly phone calls. I don't know if I want to commit to weekly phone calls. Personally, I'm in a few different membership groups that have monthly phone calls, and every month I'm shocked. I'm like, it's time for the call again? I haven't listened to last month's call. And like, so I don't want there to be two. I feel like 2 calls a month is good. So I was thinking like 60 to 90-minute phone calls, where during the first part of the call we would talk about like the principles of one of the lessons from the course or like a specific topic, and then have the second half open for Q&A. And I was thinking like webinar style calls where like I'm the webinar host, everybody is looking at me on the screen, not like everybody popping up with their own TV screen kind of thing. And then like only I can see the chat box with the questions, not like a Facebook Live or something where everybody can chat and comment on each other's stuff. Like, I'm still not sure about a lot of these details. I've really been thinking about this for several months, but it's only like now that I'm like, it's December 14th. Like, do you think you're launching January 1st? I think there would also be a community aspect that's like a Facebook group, but not on Facebook. It's on my own website. I have one in my online yoga studio. There's a yoga community where people can ask questions, make requests for certain classes, that kind of thing. And I would have that same sort of community within this monthly membership I'm thinking of. I keep wanting to say weight loss, and it's not about weight loss. It's about getting healthy. It's just so drilled into my brain. Lose weight, like... Okay, I think I have rambled enough for tonight. But I would love to hear from you in the comments. Would you be interested in this kind of online course with the monthly membership coaching phone call aspect? Is 2 phone calls a month sound like a good number to not be overwhelmed but feel supported? And would you want to start January 1st? I think January 1st is a Saturday. I could always have the course open but have the first phone call be the 2nd week of January. Still a lot to think about, still a lot to create if I want to bring this to life for January 2022. One last thing before I go, I need to show you my fuzzy cat pants because I don't even remember how many years ago I bought these, but they didn't fit me when I bought them, but I didn't return them because I loved them so much and said, I will fit into those one day and I will wear them all winter. And today's that day. They are this fuzzy material with teal cats. How freaking cool are these? Now that I know they fit me, you will be seeing these in many more Vlogmas videos. Although today's day 15, so does that mean 10 more videos? I know it means I need to get Christmas shopping. Thank you so much for joining me today for Vlogmas Day 15. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know if you're interested in hanging out in 2022, and be well.